Now, we're joined in the studio this morning by two Australian film legends. Bryan bloody Brown, good morning to you.
G'day, mate.
And Rachel Ward is with us as well. Rachel, thank you so much for coming in, guys.
Great to be here.
You kind of know how to get here. This is the second time you've been in. You can't get enough of us, obviously.
Yep.
That's definitely the truth.
Yeah, no, it's very, very popular.
Yeah.
Popular place to be.
Exactly
Now,
right.
do we start right back at the Shirley Lee, Caroline? Where do we start?
Oh, look, I fell in love with you, Bryan Brown, literally in 1981 when the Shirley was on. It must have been on the ABC because
Channel
I was.
10.
Yeah, it was on. See, because I'm from country WA, and we didn't get much TV out there in those. And I think that's why I was so in love with you. And then Town Like Alice, and it's just this week has been very nostalgic for me. And people say nostalgia's bad, but I've been burning YouTube watching you.
Yeah, we're having lots of fun.
Great.
You
I'm
know,
about nostalgia.
It's interesting, that whole thing about the Shirley. I get a lot of women your age now coming up to me and talking about the Shirley because they were with their fathers watching that
that's
show
exactly
when they
right.
were 10 and 11,
Exactly
9, 10
right.
and 11 years of age.
Exactly right.
And Rachel, I've got to say, against all odds, but you sort of rolled your eyes and scoffed at me when I mentioned against all odds before. Come on, tell us why.
Because I'm a party pooper and I'm a feminist, and that to me is just the male gaze. It's just Taylor Hackford going, fantasy girl. It's two-dimensional. It's boring.
And did you feel that at the time? Like, so when you were making that, were you like, oh, what have I bought into?
Give me a human quality. Just don't make me this fantasy,
Right.
because it's boring and it doesn't do women justice.
Yeah,
We're not just about the red bathing suit and the diamond earrings and the Ferrari, Give us some substance.
I'm really
humanity.
hurt now. I'm hurt. I want to go home. I love it.
So Palm Beach last night, it was just fantastic to see that ensemble cast. That we just, Rachel, you were saying, oh my God, we've saturated Australia this week, but I think we've all missed you. I think Australia was just lapping up this time with you and Bryan and Sam and Heather. Everyone.
Well, we're banking on that.
Yeah.
We're banking on that big time. Yeah, and that's why we've got all these goodies, these oldies but goodies in the movie, and they are still kicking ass and being fabulous. I mean, Greta Skarkey, she's
Isn't she
just
great?
still
Fantastic.
amazing. She just lights up the screen.
Do you know, a friend of mine said to me at the end of the movie last night, and she was a Northern Beaches young mum. She would be about Greta's age.
Yeah.
And she said to me, I loved her so much. She said she actually looked like a Northern Beaches wife.
She did.
She really,
She does,
Yeah.
but she just has that smile and warmth, and you just want to hug her, love her.
And
Yeah.
it's
She
great
just
you
has
filmed the
lost
whole
that.
thing at your house too, which is awesome.
Yeah, that'd be right. We were awfully lucky to get that house. It was owned by an architect and a lady and who had been an artist, or still was an artist, but she just said to us, yep, you can have the house, Bryan. You can do what you like to it as long as you give it back to us how it was when we gave it to you. And that sort of generosity was
And
wonderful.
she was just actually so for Australian culture and for Australian artists. She just went, how can I not? Just what do you want? Have it.
that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And did she want to keep some of the furniture that you moved in?
Well, funny enough, she went away for the 3 months that we were filming, where we had to put it back to how it was. And when she came back and she saw the film, she went, "Damn, I
would've
should have
liked
kept that
that
colour.
stuff.
I should have kept that there."
Yeah.
Well, she couldn't keep it all because, let me tell you now, half of the furniture from our house in Birchgrove was in there. You know, I'd be at home and I'd go to put my feet on the table that I usually do, and the bloody table wasn't there anymore.
And because I've actually been stalking you this last week, and your house or houses in Birchgrove, we've
House?
had. No, but didn't you buy the next door
Yeah.
neighbour?
Oh, yeah, but it's
Semi-detached,
they're
Oh,
twin
there's-
images. They're joined.
Right.
They're twin
So-
images.
So because we wanted to ask you, we were talking about living separately but
Yeah.
together, like having your own space. Is that what
that'd be
you?
good.
Is that
Kinda.
how you two
Yeah.
roll, or
Yeah.
it
I
is?
can
So,
never find
It's a little
her.
bit like when you're
You can
traveling.
never find it.
When you're traveling business class and you can press that little thing that just brings up the room. And I've got one of them at home.
Yeah.
Just cut him out.
Now, can I ask Bryan Brown if he's still got the best car in Australia? I saw you on Burke's Backyard once, and you had this incredible old Kingy.
Yeah.
Have you still got that?
I've got a 79 Statesman Burgundy Red.
Oh, yes.
Have you?
The first car I ever drove was an 84 Statesman DeVille. It was my dad's car.
Mine's
So
a DeVille.
Yeah.
I had a 76.
Yeah.
And it started to get a bit crook on rust and everything. So some young bloke in Balmain got hold of that. And then, as luck was having, I was doing a movie, and the other producers had just come through Parks, and she said, I found your new car. And she showed me this picture of this Burgundy Red Statesman.
Oh, I love that.
A bloke had been left by his grandfather, who was a Holden dealer for Parks.
Oh, beautiful.
wow.
And I got in touch with him and said, mate, you want to sell it, I'll take it.
Hey, Hey, just settle
Do
down.
you mind?
Yeah.
And a girl in a red bathing suit came with it, and
Did you see Bryan sit up when we started talking about his car?
I know.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
One, I have to say, there is one glaring fault in your movie.
Oh, there's more than one.
Bring
I've
it
got
on.
another.
Yeah,
You go
okay,
first.
okay.
Go for it.
Where were Greta Scacchi's staff? Like all that food, the flowers, the clean house,
way.
10 people staying in the
I
house.
do that.
Rachel does that.
Do
We'll
that.
have a
No, I
dinner
wouldn't say
party.
it's not clean. It's got cobwebs and things like that.
Well,
If
it
you
looks.
look
It looks. I was
No,
like,
no, no.
We'll have a
panic.
dinner party
I
at
always
home.
do it.
Yeah.
I've
And
got a real
Rachel
fault.
will have. We'll have 15 people, and Rachel will spend the whole day cooking
Yeah,
and doing it on her own, and
everybody
carry
does
the
that.
stuff out there because
Yeah.
I have to entertain
That's what
people
it's
and
about.
talk.
It's not about getting other people to do it. It's about
Peop-
getting you to do it. That's
It just looked elaborate and beautiful.
Well,
And
I've
the
got a-
daughter, she had a daughter. She
Yeah,
was doing
yeah,
a fair
that's
bit,
true.
and
Okay,
she
you
had
reckon
the
she was
son, and she
helping?
had the
Okay.
dog. You
I've got
know.
a bigger fault than that.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
okay,
one.
go.
Another fault to pick. There's the scene there where Greta Scacchi gets into the hammock with Sam
Yep.
Neill.
Yeah.
There's no way that happened that easily. Okay, my wife was in a hammock when we were on
Well,
holidays.
let me tell you
and I
something.
got in the thing. It took me 45 minutes to get in the bloody thing.
I actually wrote it so that she would fall out of the hammock.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get her to fall out of the hammock.
No
she just
way.
slipped in there
Right.
like Flynn.
She's an acrobat.
Yeah, and as the producer, I did not want her falling out of the hammock.
No.
No.
Why? Because you might break something.
Oh, yeah.
We're-
I
we're
can do
of
a
certain
back
age
in or
these
something
days.
like that. It's like, that's about the worst thing you've ever written, Rachel. It ain't going to happen.
All right. And
There
then
was a few actually, I think, when it sort
But
of
it did
looked
take a
bit-
while to get in.
Yes.
There's probably people holding it in certain
Yes.
ways.
Yes,
and
I
you
knew that. See,
You could see it on her face too.
Yeah.
There's something about her on her face, like she's holding something in.
That's right. Now, the other thing, too.
sorry. I just want to ask
Yeah.
one more thing. The fight scene
Yep.
between you and Sam Neill.
Yeah.
How did you do that? Did you just commit and say, okay, we are going to hurt each other?
Because you're
here?
old mates.
'Cause
You're
you-
old mates.
Yeah, but it looked.
Oh, mate,
it
so
was,
we've been aching to have a fight.
No, but seriously, did you hurt each other?
At the end of that fight, his knee went into my back, and for about 16 weeks, I had a muscle that was very sore,
Yeah.
and painful.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It's good seeing
but
that.
those
But
things-
it was a
those things
granddad
happen.
fight. Let's
Granddad.
face
It was a
I mean,
great
you know.
granddad fight, but it was
Granddad
awesome.
fight.
Who would win if it did come down to that between you and Sam
I'd
Neill?
walk it in.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
true.
it's probably
Sam's
softer
a
than
pussy.
you. Yeah.
We did it once. And he went, "That'll do."
Oh, right. Okay.
You're like, nah, let's
The
Now-
good thing was I get the first punch in. That's, because my wife wrote it.
Yeah, I see. Right. Now, I wanted to ask you about that too, because, being on set, your wife's the director and the writer. She's bossing you around all day. I guess it would have just been like being at home.
So right, mate.
Yes,
you are
there we
so
go.
on it.
All
You
right.
understand. You know life.
So sad for men, Rachel. Don't you feel so sad for them?
They have a tragic life.
Oh, it's
don't they? It's
awful,
all on
awful.
It's all our way,
Hey,
isn't it?
Do you want me to start talking about
it?
Against All Odds again, or
Get
That'd be
back
right.
in your
Shut us down.
you've been shut down? Hey,
Oh,
look,
I'm going to do a plug now. So
Go.
if you loved all the stuff in the house,
Yeah,
if you
oh,
thought
yes,
the house
I-
all looked great.
I know what you're gonna
My
plug.
daughter has she has an online sort of vintage store, which
Yes.
I've got so much stuff in my house
Oh,
from
and
her.
it's
and she is
beautiful.
called I Am Hawker.
Yes.
So if you love my little eclectic
Yes.
stuff,
Wow.
go
Go
on
to
to I Am
Hawker.
Hawker because
Yeah.
she's got my eye.
is there
And-
a website with photos of your car, Bryan Brown, on there somewhere I can look at, or can you sort that out?
If you want to see my car, you have to go to the pub with no beer out the back of Utungan, out there at Taylor's Arm at the back of Maxville,
Yeah.
because every now and again I roll up in it for a beer.
Oh, is that right?
And the old burgundy red statements comes.
So do you drive
You
it
can
to
see all the
shops, though?
guys
Do you
in the
drive it
pub
every
going,
day?
Do I drive
There they
what?
are.
Your statesman every day.
No, I keep that up the country because
Yeah.
when it was when the other one that I had down in the city,
Too much-
rust comes in too
too much
easy. So
salt.
I went, this one's going to be looked after. Keep it up the country. And I go to just motor around the country roads to the pubs.
Now, stay with us, guys, because I've got to play an ad break. We've got to pay the bills as well. We'll tell you more about Palm Beach coming up. It is Mark and Caroline for breakfast, joined by Bryan Brown, Rachel Ward, 92.7 Mix FM. 92.7 Mix FM, it's Mark and Caroline for breakfast. Look, it's 8:26. Carolina, you can't have side conversations. We need to talk now, okay? Talk to the people. What question you were going to ask?
No, that's too technical. It was just a question about one of the photos in the movie. But I
So
did-
Bryan Brown and Rachel Ward are in the studio with us this morning, and Palm Beach is the movie you all need to go out and see this weekend.
And
okay?
there was a great story you told before we went, before the movie started last night. So your daughter Matilda plays your daughter Bryan in the movie, and which quite typecast really, but she pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know.
Hard.
Big stretch for her.
But she is a gorgeous girl with very, very short hair. So tell us that story, director mum.
Well, I think it was quite generous of us to say, Till, there's a great role for you in there. You can have it, lap it up and be very grateful. And she went, yeah. And then she walked in a week later and she'd shaved all her hair off. And it was like, what?
So she didn't have a conversation with you at all?
It's like, no conversation. Didn't even think about it. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm glad it's had such
And she's a professional actress, writer, director.
If she was working for anybody else, she would have made the call, can I cut my hair?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But she didn't do it.
That's exactly
That's
right.
daughter. She's just a real stirring, rebellious little git.
And luckily, she's absolutely beautiful and carries it off. But were you actually annoyed? Were you like, you wouldn't have done
She was
this?
annoyed.
I was furious with her because actually, Till's always right, of course. That's even more annoying. And I wouldn't dare direct her either. It was like every time, that was great, darling, really good. Really, really good. Yeah.
Nailed
if I
it.
tried,
How come you weren't like that with me? Why didn't you say, darling, that was
because
really
you
great?
really need directing.
There's so much that we would still like to ask you. I just want to ask you about your relationship with every single one of that cast. They are beautiful people. And to watch you all just together on screen.
Yeah, we had fun.
Just fun.
Yeah,
Loved it.
look, it's a great film. Palm Beach. Make sure you check it out this weekend. Take everyone you know to it because these things move pretty quick if they don't get the support straight away. So thank you so much for coming.
You are right. Thank you so much.
Especially when you've got these marketing giants like bloody, I don't know, Avengers or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
$1 billion marketing budgets. You guys have got you two driving around in Bryan's Statey.
Space, but actually, the radiator, I've just got to go down and cool the radiator down. It bubbled and went over.
Yeah, right. Okay, fair enough.
It's blowing oil out the back of
We
that.
better let you go.
There's another reason to go and see Palm Beach. Bryan Brown needs a new stadium.
Yeah, no, use it or lose it. If people don't go to Aussie movies,
Yeah, that's
they ain't going to
exactly
be
right.
there. So, embrace your culture.
And also go because it's a great flick.
Yeah, well,
You'll love
you
it.
have to say that. I can't say that.
Well, I will. And I'm very good in it.
He didn't need to be
Thanks
directed.
to me.
Hey, look, we love you. Thank you so much for coming in. We'd hog you all day, and I know your producer people are tapping their watches and going, but thank you so much for coming in. Absolutely
Very
glorious.
good, very enjoyable.
Thanks for having us.
Great to
There
be
you go.
up here on the coast. Really is.
Bryan Brown and Rachel Ward. Palm Beach is the movie you need to go and see. News is next. It's Mark and Caroline for breakfast, 92.7 Mix FM.
No other decade in his. Mark and Caroline for breakfast. 92.7 Mix FM.